Hello you guys, what is up? It is me, Anna, and today's video is the very first true crime video on my second channel. And if you can't tell by the title and by that little song snippet you just heard, we are talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, right before I get in, I just want to say I'm super excited. Like I said, this is my very first true crime video on my second channel. If you don't follow my main channel, it's Anna Louise, then go subscribe to that. It would mean a lot. But I have always been into true crime. Ever since elementary school, me and my mom used to watch, and we still do, true crime shows almost every day. And we still do watch them all the time. I love them. And Jeffrey Dahmer is by far my favorite serial killer, and I know that kind of sounds, I don't know, I don't want that to like come off bad, nor do I want anyone to think that I condone anything that he did, because I do not. It's terrible. But there's just so many things behind Jeffrey Dahmer that just is so interesting. It's compelling and interesting to study and look. I mean, I literally would spend nights just watching videos and like hour-long videos on old VHS recordings of his trial. I would just study it. It literally just blew my mind. There is some really interesting things about Jeffrey Dahmer that just absolutely sets him apart from all different kind of serial killers, at least in my mind. So I thought, what else would I be doing for my first true crime video than to do it over Jeffrey Dahmer? So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born on May 21st of 1960. He was the son of Lionel and Joyce Dahmer. He was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and had a not so normal childhood. Basically, growing up, like a lot of serial killers do, they have fascinations first with dead animals, like messing with them, looking at them, just the fascination of death and things like that. And that was the case with Jeffrey. That's just how he was. His father even once recalled that he liked just to hear the clanking of animal bones. And I feel like that, like I said, is pretty usual with serial killers, and it's just kind of how it starts out. But Jeffrey Dahmer's father, he did not try to stop it or really say anything about it. So Jeffrey kind of continued to do things like that. He would also act out in school quite often and kind of just make himself known as not a good kid, basically. But one very important thing to note is that when Jeffrey was growing up, he started to realize that he was gay. Now, in that time especially, I mean, literally, it's still not completely accepted today, which sucks, but in that time period, in the 60s and all of that, it definitely wasn't accepted. So Jeffrey really struggled with being gay. Even his father, in later interviews, way after Jeffrey was put in prison, he would even say he was not happy about that. He was not condoning Jeffrey being gay. It's basically one of those situations where people say, oh, well, I think my parent would rather me be dead than be gay. You know what I'm saying? And that was so sad. But that was the case for Jeffrey Dahmer. And so as he got older, he would kind of just sit and watch people who would jog by and walk by. And there was this one specific guy who would jog by, just like running down the road, just normally and regularly, and Jeffrey would always just have this fascination with like watching him run by all the time. And that is the very first incident where Jeffrey started just to have these fantasies about raping him. So basically, he kind of just formed this plan all in his mind that one day he was gonna hide behind the bushes and jump out and get this man. Now, this young man was Jeffrey's first victim, and it turns out instead of just raping him, he ended up killing him as well. And that's kind of where it all started. So one really important thing to mention is that Jeffrey and his family did move to Akron, Ohio, which is where the killings were pretty much all done at. And in total, he did kill and rape 17 boys and men. Some were men and some were actually minors, but that one man that was jogging down the road is where it just all started. So through his life, Jeffrey just came out and, you know, embraced being gay. He would go to gay bars a lot and things like that and pick up men there. And basically, Jeffrey just kind of felt alone. He always felt like nobody was really there for him. He felt like he just really did not have anyone. And that, and you can see this in interviews, he would talk about it. And I'm gonna get into that later because, like I said, there's some things that really set him apart from other serial killers, which I will so get to. But he felt alone and like nobody was there for him. And all he wanted was to have somebody that would love him and be there for him and would literally never leave. He wanted to have a person that would just be with him until the end, you know. And he was just, something just was going on in his head where he just, I guess, thought that that would just not ever happen. So basically, Jeffrey would go to the gay clubs and stuff like that and pick up men and bring them home. So when he would bring them home, he would normally offer them a drink, which he would put sedatives in to knock them out and put them to sleep. So let me just say right here before I move on, this is the first thing that just, it really stands out, especially against other serial killers, Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy and like Richard Ramirez, whereas they were just, and you could see it in their eyes that they were just so cold-blooded and they wanted to kill for fun. Jeffrey would not kill unless they were put under. He would not kill to hurt. Like, he did not want his victims to hurt. So what he would do, he would always just offer them a drink and he would put some type of sedative in the drink and knock them out. So once again, like I said, I'm not in any way trying to condone what Jeffrey did, but I'm just trying to say that it is very interesting and just, it just really kind of like blows my mind. Like, he did not want them to hurt or feel the pain when he killed them. So basically, after he would sedate them, he would rape them and then end up killing them mostly by strangulation at first. So that was kind of the repetitive thing going on for a while, and really the reason why he killed, and he even said this in multiple different interviews and even in his trial, was that he just wanted to have that person that wouldn't leave. So he felt like if he killed somebody, then he could take a part of them and always have them forever. Because that is one thing, he is known as the cannibal killer because he would dismember bodies and keep parts of them. I know it's gruesome, I know it's gross, I'm not going to show pictures. There are ones online if you do look it up, but I'm not going to put them on the video. But he would keep pieces of their body. And that's kind of where it started. But as things went on with his killings, they did become a lot more gruesome. There were an actual couple of incidents where he was with a few different guys, such as one that was a minor. He was with him and he was at the house and he actually escaped. He left Jeffrey's house and ran down the street where two women did notice him. He was very dismantled and like shooken up and things like that. He was actually even bleeding. He was just kind of out of it, and the women were so worried. They were so worried that they actually called the police department. The police department came, and Jeffrey, of course, left his house to go find him, which he did, and he was in a kind of a confrontation with the women, the boy that he had abducted who was underage, and the cops. And when the police started talking to Jeffrey, Jeffrey spoke for the young man who was very disoriented and said that he was his boyfriend, basically. And the women knew that that was just complete bullcrap. But guess what the police did? They said, okay, have a nice day, and mosey on the way. And so Jeffrey obviously led the boy back to his house. The women knew that was bullcrap, but the police said, okay, and just believed it. Now this boy was a minor. He wasn't even of age, and Jeffrey was older. And I'm pretty sure that the police could tell that, but like, oh, okay, that's just cool, dude. And similar incidences like that actually did happen. There was another scenario where Jeffrey Dahmer had met a young boy and basically just said, I will literally pay you some money if I can get some pictures of you, and that's it. So basically he told this boy that, and this was another underage guy, and he went back to Jeffrey Dahmer's place, and Jeffrey tried to poison him, but the boy kind of realized what was going on, and he actually was able to escape, and Jeffrey said, "You better not tell anybody about this," and the guy left, and he literally did not tell anybody, and Jeffrey got away with it. That kind of confuses me, because you go to this guy's house, you have these things go on, he tries to poison you, and he's like, "Okay, you can go," and he literally paid him the money that he said that he would, and the boy left, and that was it. It was really weird, and the boy really did never tell, so Jeffrey did not get caught. I just find that whole situation odd, but Jeffrey did actually pay him and was nice to him and told him to go, but basically said, like, "You better not tell anyone that this happened." So things like that did happen. But besides that, the murders did get worse. There were people that would come over. He did the same thing, such as sedate them. And now this part gets very graphic and very grotesque. And actually, this was on American Horror Story season whatever, where they're at the hotel. Basically, Jeffrey thought that he could create his own zombie out of these guys. And this was, again, to have the perfect mate and lover that would never leave him. He thought that he could create a zombie. So what he would do was take a drill and drill a small hole in the scalps of the men that he had taken captive and pour bleach into their skull. Now, whenever I first heard of this and like read and saw the video, I thought, how could they possibly have lived after that? But even though he did that, some of his captors would wake up with the acid in their head. It was different things that he would pour into their head, but mostly like the bleach and acid. And some of them would wake up, but they would die of the trauma or would end up still getting strangled. And other than keeping the body parts, he actually got to where he would eat parts of the body as well. It is gross, I know. But by eating the parts of the body, he also felt that he would be closer to these men and have a part of them to keep forever. So basically, that is kind of how the killings went. He, like I said, did not kill just to kill out of spite. He wanted a lover to have. He knew he was mentally ill. There were different times where he tried to restrain it, but the thoughts just kept coming up for him. So like I said, he would come home, offer drinks, sedate them, and then pretty much choke them for the most part. That was what mostly happened in the killings. And then, like I said, dismember them, keep parts of their body, or eat parts of their body. One more thing that he would do, and you can actually find this picture online. I've seen it, like I said, not gonna put it in the video, but he would actually treat some of the bodies like mannequins and put them in different positions, you know, like posed. And you can actually, like I said, find that picture online, but he would also do something like that, kind of make them his dolls. Now, this did actually go on for a long time, and literally from the years of 78 to 91, Jeffrey Dahmer was doing these things. But finally, in 1991, he did get caught, and this was because of his very last victim that he had taken in, and he actually did testify at the trial against Jeffrey Dahmer. He had basically gotten taken to his apartment, and there was like so many incidents where he was like, "This is weird, this is off," and he knew something was wrong. And then finally Jeffrey kind of snapped, and he thought that he was going to die. So basically, the man tried everything that he could to try to stay alive, and basically went along with Jeffrey's game. So of course he went along and just kind of played along, which I personally think is very smart. Of course, I never know what I would do if I was in that kind of situation, but I think trying to play along is definitely smart. So that's what this man did. And one thing about Jeffrey is he wanted everything to be completely like perfect, just like he kind of set up a kind of like a play, like a little set kind of thing. And Jeffrey's favorite movie that he would model these killings after was the Exorcist movie, and I forgot which one it was, but it was one of the Exorcist movies, and he would literally watch it all the time. Now, he started actually playing this video for this man, and he started to get really irritated with him, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and he was saying all that stuff, yet he really wasn't doing it yet, obviously. And so at one point, the man actually kind of just thought, it's either me try to escape or me die, and because this basically went on long enough. So the man actually was able to escape the apartment, and he like ran for his life and called the police. So when this happened, the police showed up, and when they entered Dahmer's house, they found everything, and that is when he was caught. So this man luckily did escape, and that was the end of Jeffrey's killings. When Jeffrey got captured, the thing is he literally obeyed the police. He gave the police all of the information that they wanted, and this is the second thing that literally just captivates me the most and like makes me be like, what. It was that he literally obeyed the police in everything that he did. He told the police everything that he ever did. He literally just obeyed and did everything that the police told him to do. He did not try to fight back. He did not try to do any of that. And that was just really interesting. And not to mention, in one of his interviews, he actually stated that he was glad that it was over, because he knew that he was bad. He knew he was a monster, and he was just glad that he was caught and then it was over and he would not be able to do it again. He was just definitely sick in the mind, and it's like, I wish he could have gotten, you know, good help, because I know that it was a mental illness and he knew it, and he was just, like I said, glad that it was over. So in court, he actually wrote over 200 pages of literally every detail of everything he did, because he felt like he owed that to the police, to the victims' families, because he knew, like I said, that he was bad, and he felt like he owed this to them. So he wrote all of the stuff down that he had done for the court in the trial. Now at the end, basically, he was able to talk at the trial, and he had told the members of the jury and the relatives of the people that he did murder that he was so sorry, which he knew that that was not enough, and that he literally knew that he could not repay, but in order to somehow repay, although it's not repaying, if that makes any sense, that he even told them that he was like, listen, I completely complied with the cops. I literally told them everything. I'm trying to show that I'm so sorry, and I'm just trying to literally do what I'm supposed to do. And I thought that was amazing too, and I really genuinely do not think that it is just hogwash. Like, I don't think that that's fake. I really truly believe that he was sorry. I truly believe that he was glad that it was over, and I feel like you can tell that as well with the way he talked and stuff like that, and you could just kind of tell in his eyes and through his interviews. He did so many interviews, giving even the reporters all the information that they asked for, and you could tell that he was genuinely just like, yeah, I know I suck, I know I'm terrible, and this is what I did, and I hate it. So he was sentenced to life in prison. And so in 1994, Jeffrey Dahmer was actually killed by an inmate by the name of Christopher Scarver. Now, Scarver was a fellow inmate who basically just got tired of Jeffrey. They were actually working together one day. Of course, in prison, different inmates have different jobs where they work together and they clean things. They were actually in the bathroom, and Christopher Scarver just started beating up Jeffrey. And it was reported by other inmates that Jeffrey did not say one word, he did not try to fight back, and he just let it happen. And that was another reason why I felt like he knew he was bad, he knew he was terrible, and he wasn't even going to try to fight back. I mean, like, there was just so many things where you could tell he felt serious remorse and that he would have liked to have help. But, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, his childhood had a big part to do with this, and I am totally on board with some of that, because, or a lot of that, because you can watch videos and interviews on YouTube and other stuff like that of his parents, and they just sound wacko. I mean, flat out not like they're good parents at all. And even the reporters were trying to ask things to his mother about his childhood and about her pregnancy and about different drugs that she had taken and things that could have somehow affected him. And at one point in the interview, she said that she remembered absolutely everything about Jeffrey and what went on in her pregnancy, but when asked the medication she took, she just suddenly didn't remember. And she was just really sketchy about everything that she said, as was his father. He just acted like a monotone robot, and it was just all really weird. And of course, he was still prominent about hating the fact that Jeffrey was gay. So I don't know, I think that had a lot to do with it. Other than that, I just think that it was definitely a mental illness. But like I said, other than other famous serial killers like Richard Ramirez, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, even like H.H. Holmes, Jack the Ripper, who just killed to kill only, just to take lives, Jeffrey just wanted that person for him. And no, obviously that was not the best way to go about it by any means, and I'm not at all like saying that that was okay. I'm just saying that it makes it interesting how different he was from the others, and it really sucks that he was killed. I got so mad when I, you know, obviously read that he was killed, because he was so interesting that, and many different people have said this, that he would have been a really good candidate to, you know, study. He should have been put in a mental hospital and he should have been studied. And I really think that he would have definitely complied to that, and I think that's what should have happened. So many people think that's what should have happened, because maybe the researchers and different kind of people that I don't know what their job titles would be, but that research people like that could find out something important about like what sets him apart from the others, and maybe come up with something that could help, I don't know, in the future, just something like that. And like I said, many other people thought that as well, so it sucks. Like, it really does, because that could have been something valuable and important, but I don't know. That's just how I feel about it, and this is pretty much the end of this video. I didn't go like completely in depth like I guess I could have, but this is basically just an overview of everything that Jeffrey Dahmer had done since he was a young guy all up until he was captured. And I really do hope you enjoyed it. There are so many great videos out there on this subject, so many great interviews that you can watch that Jeffrey did himself, his court trials, all of it's so interesting, so I definitely recommend watching that if you are interested. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know down below, please, if you enjoyed this true crime video and if you want to see any more and who you want to see them on, just anything like that. Let me know down below, and please give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel, please, which you can do by hitting my face or right up here, and you can watch another of my videos by clicking right here, and it would mean the world to me if you would do so. And I hope you have a great day or night or whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys in my next video.